Here are some examples of subtlety in the book of Genesis. People lived after Adam and Eve. People lived to be 900 or 700. And this was subtlety. I know it sounds blatant, but it doesn't mean that. It means there was a lot of time passed since Cain killed Abel. And that led to Noah and the flood, which was a direct result of Cain killing Abel, because Noah cursed his son Ham for his son Canaan, referring you back to Cain. And that's a subtlety of the Bible. And the passing of time between Abel dying and Noah causing the flood for people to die because of it was a long time. But the reason why so much time passed was the Bible being subtle about the fact that it didn't eradicate the problem, that time passing didn't mean the sin just got washed away. Because it says Abel's blood cries out from the earth, even in the New Testament. And it says that it doesn't speak well, Abel's blood. And that's because the blood still cries out, because Abel was murdered. Now, you could say the passing of 900 years would mean that all got forgotten about and it didn't matter anymore. But that's the subtlety. It did matter. And Cain was sent to the land of Nod, which was like nodding off to sleep before the flood came, which destroyed all of Cain's descendants. And that was a result of Cain being a murderer. And Nod was the subtlety. And it says that Lamech came from Cain generations later and wounded a man to his hurt. Well, that wasn't murder. And it says he got punished 77 times to Cain's 7 times. That's a subtlety. And you wouldn't realize the connection unless you can appreciate subtlety from the Bible. And the thing is that the Bible is very subtle about its message, because Cain killing Abel was a sin. And then they said, oh, the flood came because sins increased so much. And then God couldn't stand it anymore. I can't stand it anymore. People are sinning so much. Well, there was no sin, because Lamech wasn't a murderer. He killed someone by mistake, it seems like, if you read it, because he had 2 wives, Ada and Zillah, and they could see the situation. And it was not as serious, but the Bible said it was more serious, and that's the subtlety. Saying he got punished 77 times instead of Cain 7 times. It's the subtlety. And the flood came because sins didn't happen. And the sin of murder of Cain killing Abel was so serious that 900 years and 700 years and 900 years passed, and it didn't make any difference. It was as though Noah was saved because he was cared about Abel, and he was very upset that Cain got let off. And when it says that God put a mark on Cain, that's the subtlety, because he was really saying that Cain should have been executed by the people around him. But they saw that God put a mark on him not to do anything to Cain. And that's the subtlety. So you have to understand subtlety in the Bible. It's no good just saying, oh, because in Genesis 3 verse 1, it says Satan was the most subtle creature. And he said, has God said that you should not eat of the fruit of the God? And questioning what God has said. And so people say that's very subtle. So they say if people seem to be subtle, they're not very black and white. They're not bash you over the head preachers being blatant about the Bible. They're being very subtle about it. And that's something of Satan, the Christians say, because of Genesis 3 verse 1. But the examples I've just given you about Cain having a mark put on him, which is facetious, and sent to the land of Nod, which is facetious, because Nod meant nod, no. God was saying, no, it's not all right because of the Ten Commandments. In the same time, it wasn't a different dispensation. Dispensationalism is a lie. It's a wicked doctrine. It's sinful, dispensationalism. God is always the same. And the passing of time doesn't make any difference. And that proves dispensationalism is wrong. And the fact they lived to 900 proves it, because they didn't live to 900 really, probably. It was to make a point of subtlety. And people were indifferent to the murder. And so God proved that he wasn't by sending the flood. And then after the flood, cursing Canaan for Ham's son Cain, because the sin was so bad. And they talk on the news today about murders every day, but they're trivializing things and making it so people just get used to hearing about it. But God wasn't used to hearing about Cain killing Abel, and took it very seriously and said, even if 900 years passed from your generation, Noah felt it as though it happened only yesterday, like it was in his back garden, like Cain and Abel were his grandparents, or Abel should have been his grandparent, but he got replaced with Seth. And Noah was upset about it, and that's why God saved Noah in the flood. These are all subtleties. You wouldn't make the connection if you didn't appreciate subtlety.